Good morning, friends. How are you, everybody? Hello, hello. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Pray you are well. Hi, Karen. Good morning to you. Hello, everybody. See folks coming by. Good morning to you on this gray day here in beautiful Fall River. So, good morning, Donna. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Good morning to you too. Yeah, we have a week, I think, of just kind of gray weather here that we're waiting a little bit of drizzle, but waiting for the Mayflowers to begin to really find their full stride. We've had some beautiful stuff already starting, but it is coming. Joe Long, raining here. Well, Joe, if it's raining where you are, that's coming our way. So so he's in beautiful Ohio. Jennifer, good morning to you. I hope that little baby is great. I'm seeing his face. Bonnie, good morning. It's as if I just saw you. We just wrapped up our staff meeting and I just saw Bonnie, so it's a blessing. Lovely to see her face. Irene, good morning to you. Glad you're well. Sharon Landry, everybody. Hello, hello. Good morning, John. I hope New Hampshire is treating you well. Irene, good morning. Hello, hello. Speaking of babies, little Charlotte is just gorgeous. Love those pictures. Thank you for sharing her with us. Josh, you took a boat ride. That's kind of fun. It's kind of, I think it's to be expected in terms of how that Maxi clan goes. So that's fantastic. Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you. We're going to get going here. It is the third day of May. We are in the middle of the year already. It is the third day of May on this beautiful day with all of God's grace and God's love for each one of you. And I'm grateful that you're here. Grateful you're a part of this. Come to spend a little time with one another and with me, and it's a great encouragement. So I am sitting here on the beautiful and lovely pineapple couch. So I love this couch, by the way. It's a treasure that was found here in the church, and as I've been working through my new office, I kind of snagged it from what used to be the ladies' parlor, and so ladies, excuse me, sorry, but it is such a beautiful piece. But it is, it's called the pineapple couch because it is pineapples, like that is made of pineapples. If you don't know, you'll see this throughout colonial America. You'll see this motif of pineapple everywhere you go. So I want to talk about pineapples today. How fun is that? So in colonial America and even into the 19th century, there was a way in which pineapples came to mean hospitality, and they came to mean hospitality because they were expensive and they were important. And in fact, in this area, Fall River, New Bedford, on any given night, if you had a pineapple, you would be able to rent your pineapple out. This was actually a big thing that happened both in the colonial area and into the 19th century, is that if you wanted to host a party, you would put a pineapple either in front of your house or on the table. It was a sign of complete welcome, of absolute welcome to the people that were there and the people that were to be a part of your party. And so that sea captains that would go to places that pineapples are, particularly often Hawaii or in the Pacific, they would bring back a pineapple. And that this extravagance of this thing that had traveled thousands of miles, of incredible sweetness, of kind of thorny on the outside but incredibly beautiful, would be displayed as a way of extending hospitality. And sometimes it would get eaten, but more often it would be a pineapple that you'd rent from somebody that had just come back, because they didn't, they don't last forever. And that you would bring a few pineapples back with you, or if you were an entrepreneurial sea captain, and you would rent your pineapple out to different dinner parties, to families that wanted to have a party, but then and wanted to extend radical hospitality, radical welcome to the people around them and to the people that entered into their world. And this became codified in some ways. It's really interesting that in the medieval time, so if you wanted to show hospitality to somebody, if you wanted to invite them into your sphere, you fed them a hot meal. That's how you did that. And that and often, things didn't move as fast, no cars and trains and all that sort of stuff. So that people might stay a little longer. So if you wanted to kind of let them know it was time to go, but not have to say it's time to go, you stopped feeding them a hot meal, and you fed them a cold meal, often a cold shoulder of beef. It's where we get the term today to give somebody the cold shoulder. It was literally that you served a house guest that was time to go. You would serve them a cold shoulder of beef, and that was their cue to say, okay, it might be time for us to move on in our journeying. And so, in the pineapple land, this was extended into bedposts that, and some of you might have one. There are these things called a pineapple bed, and that there was a 4-poster bed, and on top was this ornately carved pineapple, and the pineapples were removable. Now, they weren't just removable so that you could clean and dust them, but they were removable as a way of communicating to guests in your home, so that if you were invited into somebody's home as a house guest, you were expected to have a good stay. But when it was time to move on, and a way to communicate that, one of the pineapples would be missing. That you would come in after your day and a pineapple would be gone, and it was a cue to say, okay, maybe it's time to find someplace else within the next few days or next week. And with the next week, it's kind of time to we need your room kind of thing. And then if you came back the next night or the next few nights, and the second pineapple was gone, it was kind of like 48 hours is you're good. Like it's time, really, start packing, because we need you to go. If you came in and the third pineapple was gone, the next morning you could expect the sheriff. You could expect to be physically removed the next day, that they would take your stuff and put it out. But it was this way of communicating hospitality, but without ever having to have kind of a brutal confrontation, and that or have some sort of to say things without actually saying things. And I think this is at the heart of hospitality, and I think it's neat that the pineapple was a part of this, because as a symbol of radical hospitality, that on the outside it is all kind of gnarly and unattractive and spiny, but on the inside it has incredible sweetness. And this symbol of being invited into the pineapple is to be invited into the sweetness at the center, with maybe the protection around it and the extended around it, that you would be welcomed in. And so you find pineapple iconography, you find pineapple furniture, and so it was just a treasure to me to be able to find this pineapple love seat here and make it a part of my office, because it's what I hope to extend. As I really do hope that every person that walks through this door has a sense of radical hospitality. They have a sense that when they sit in this place and when they come to this place, they know that this is exactly where they are welcomed. It is exactly where God has placed them to receive great and beautiful and radical support. In fact, if there is one thing that epitomizes the Christian life, I think it's hospitality. Now, you can say that of Islam too. You can, in some ways, say it of Judaism. That all the Abrahamic religions have this as a component of it. But I actually think when we think about when we look historically at what has changed the world in terms of how Christians have behaved different than the people around them, it has been this simple but this radical idea of bringing in the stranger, bringing in the unwanted person, bringing in somebody who's kind of gnarly, and offering them sweetness, offering them grace, offering them covenant and community in a way that they need it. And so this little pineapple couch for me is a way of reminding me and reminding those who come to sit with me that they are accepted, that they are loved beyond measure, that there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that they've done and that they will do that will break from them God's love for them, and that God's love will continue to be extended to them throughout all that they can do, and that we in the church and that me as its pastor will do all that I can to embody that and to offer that. Now, that doesn't mean everything that the people do is okay. That's not my point. That's not what I'm saying. Or all the evils of the world are excused through the grace of goodness. But it is to say that all the horrible things can be healed, that all the broken things can be made right, that all the difficult things can be endured through the radical hospitality first extended each one of us by Christ himself. A world that rejects him. Here we are in Eastertide during Easter, where we celebrate the rejection of Christ by the world and Christ's embrace of creation all the same. God's overcoming of all the bad stuff. God's overcoming of death and hell and all the creepy crawlies. God's overcoming of all the brokenness of the world. And that in it is profound beauty. In it is this invitation for us to offer radical hospitality to one another, to the world as it is, so that God's grace and God's love may come into it, and it can become the world as we hope it to be. So I invite you, if you're ever around, come and sit on the pineapple couch. I would love to offer you a coffee or a tea or water and come and offer you some of that hospitality. I extend to you that invitation. There's always a spot for you, always a spot for you on the pineapple couch over here. And it's my hope you will extend today some hospitality to somebody. If there's a relationship that's out there that you think needs mending or you think needs tending, because all of our relationships need mending and tending. If you think there's somebody out there that you have not talked with, I invite you to pick up the phone, shoot a text, offer some grace and some peace, offer some radical, offer the pineapple. Even if you have to be a little mercenary about it in your own heart and buy yourself a coffee or something to talk yourself into it. Even if you have to sell your pineapple to somebody to get to show the radical love and hospitality in the world. But serve up that warm meal, serve up that sweetness to someone who needs it today. Somebody in your life that maybe you're a little apart from. And that as you do, know that there's a place for you on the pineapple couch. There's a place for you in this world. There's a place for you in God's grace as you extend God's grace to other people. As you extend something beautiful to somebody else. My friends, this is my hope for you today. do a little mending and tending with the sweetness of the pineapple. Peace and grace to you all, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11. Thanks, everybody.